Welcome to Onslow County today. I'm your host, Lisa Whitman-Grice, and you can see not only are we at one of my favorite places, we are at one of the most beautiful spots in all of Onslow County. Just over my shoulder, I'm told, is the perfect sunrise. So you got to get here about 6:30, but this is the place to be. We are here today to talk about summer fun in Onslow County. So we'll be talking with Tim Johnson with Onslow County Park and Recreation about our wonderful public beach accesses. We'll also visit with John Heinzmann from Onslow County DSS, talking about foster care and our awesome foster parents. We'll visit with Laurie Hubick from Onslow County Animal Services, talking about the need to spay and neuter our pets, dogs, cats, so that they can lead their best lives. We'll also visit with our friends from EMS, Jason Jones and Cammie Fletcher, about EMS Week and the work that those folks do to keep all of us safe. We'll talk with Carter Metcalf from Onslow County Planning and Development about a comprehensive land use plan, Tondria Leach with Piers, and finally Mary Downing from the Onslow County Museum. We've got a lot of friends here today at the beach. The perfect day in Onslow County. Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is one of our favorite friends on Onslow County Today or otherwise, Tim Johnson with Onslow County Park and Recreation. Tim, thank you for inviting us to your office for the day.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, not a bad view.
No, ma'am, not at all.
Tim, we always want to remind our viewers what your role is with Park and Recreation.
Well, I'm the Park Operations Supervisor. Basically, I'm immediately in charge of all the people that you see normally on after hours and on the weekends. But I also support, all of us support the Recreation Department who puts on the events. And
you all are like the most well-oiled machine. I mean, always working together and always a crew so that things go smoothly no matter where we are.
We try to be most of the time. Sometimes we're the duck. We look smooth on the top of the surface and we're paddling just as fast as we can underneath, but you don't see that.
Well, everything is always so successful and wonderful. And we wanted to come out here today because really after Easter, beach season is here.
Yes, ma'am. It's already starting to pick up.
And I mean, it is a weekday morning and there's already a nice crowd here.
Yes, there is.
Now, the one thing we want to talk about, Tim, is we are at Public Beach Access number 4. We're at Public Beach Access number 4, which is on the north end on New River Inlet Road.
Yes, ma'am.
And a lot of our viewers and our beach access users might recall that this area sustained a lot of damage during Hurricane Florence.
Yes.
Tell us sort of what happened.
The entire access was basically wrecked. All the woodworking was knocked down. The restrooms were, all the plumbing underneath was tore out. So there was no way to use this at all. And then we were waiting for FEMA for the whole process to put that through to get everything. But now, basically the inside of the restrooms are brand new. Most of the decking to get you up here is brand new. And we're ready to go for this year's season.
And the public knows it because here they are.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when we talk about county public beach accesses, and we have 4 here on the island on Topsail Beach.
Yes,
and Topsail Island. You gave me the coolest trick for remembering which access is which.
Well, when I first started working here, this was the way it was explained to me. We have 4 beach accesses, and I try to remember them. The even numbered beach accesses are on the ocean side, and the odd numbered beach accesses are on the sound side. And they're labeled from the south end of the island to the north. So 2 is down south, and this is 4. And actually, this is what confuses people because 1 is just over my shoulder down the street about another 3 miles. But it's on the sound side,
right.
And then BA3 is the one at the very end of the island, and it's basically just a parking lot, but that is not our parking lot. The parking lot there is controlled by North Topsail Beach, So it is a paid only parking lot.
I'm so glad you brought that up too, because at County Public Beach Accesses, please share with our viewers what it costs to park here.
It doesn't cost a dime to park here.
Okay.
It's always free here. Now, remember, here at Beach Access 4 is the town park across the street.
Right.
And it costs money to park over there because that doesn't belong to us. That belongs to the town. So, but in our parking lot here and the several parking lots that are at BA2 and the BA1 parking lot is totally free all the time.
Excellent. Now, we talk about all of these beach accesses. They all have a little bit of a different personality and where you decide to visit. People have their favorites.
They do.
And so here at BA4, which is reopened, this is just as you come off the bridge, hang a left, and you are just about here. What makes this so special?
Well, I find most of the people that come from town or come to visit here, this is the very first place they happen on. So there's always a lot of them here. Throughout the years, I've had kids grow up here in Onslow County, and my kids will tell you that all the high school kids hang out here because it's the very quickest, it's the first one they come to. My wife and several of her friends, they prefer Beach Access number 2. Most of the locals go there, or the people that come up from Surf City, they enjoy that access as well.
Okay.
And then BA1 is small, it has a very small parking lot, but it's just whoever, usually what happens is this place is full and they just go right down to BA1 and find a parking space.
Okay.
And then they walk across the street and we have a access that will get you across the street.
Okay. And then 3 at the very end is a very different, I mean, that's really more about the view of the inlet. That's
Yes,
not really
ma'am.
meant for swimming.
No.
Very different.
It's a 4-wheel drive accessible area if you want to drive onto the beach. Again, there's also a gate where there's a fee to do that. And then North Topsail Beach controls the parking lot, so it is a fee to park down there.
Okay, and then back up at Beach Access 2, you also have a sound side location with kayaking.
We do. We have actually there's 3 parking lots down there. There's the main big parking lot, there's a parking lot across the street on the sound side, and then just past the sound side parking lot, we have a very small parking lot that can take about another 10 or 12, 15 cars. Okay. But yes, we do at Beach Access 2, we do have a concessionaire that rents kayaks that you can use for the day. And if you're staying here at the beach, I'm sure he'll let you use them for a couple of days. But he's open, his hours are posted down on is a small shed in the parking lot, and that's basically their office where they run out of.
Okay, you mentioned the Kayak Concessionaire. So if I'm just coming to the beach for the day, I don't always want to lug my cooler or all my wagon and stuff. So you all are going to make it easy for me to also have lunch when I come down here.
We are. We've just secured, for this location, we've just secured a second vendor. So we'll have a vendor just behind us over here, behind the filming area where the concession stand is. And they usually post their own hours on the site where they're going to be. And then we have a vendor down at Beach Access number 2 who was here last year and has returned with us, and he'll have his hours posted usually up there as well.
Awesome.
Remember that we don't control the vendors when they're open or not. It's a vendor. It has nothing to do with us. So, please don't yell at the employees because they don't have any idea when he's going to be open or closed.
Right. So that'll be posted.
Yes.
And that's a private business, but it's something that's here, again, a convenience.
Yes, a convenience in case not everybody wants to lug their lunch to the beach.
Right. Now, so here's the last thing we want to talk about. We are very fortunate. We have these incredible beaches here in Onslow County, free parking, the best view that there is, gorgeous wildlife. We'll see dolphin, all kinds of birds, but we want to make sure that this stays beautiful. So Tim, please share with our viewers, the idea that when we visit the beaches, we want to leave it better than we found it.
Yes. We asked, if you notice, in the last couple of years, we took all the garbage cans off the beach. We want you to carry your trash off the beach, at least into the parking lot. We have several garbage cans in the parking lot area just as you're leaving. You can utilize those. Please feel free to take your trash out with you. Many people do.
Right.
They just pack it back up in their coolers and then they take it home and throw it away when they get home. That's the best, to be honest with you, because it keeps the beach clean. And we have someone who comes down here, but I have one person that handles all 3 beach accesses during the day. He works 8 hours during the day, and we also have support from the local park up the road that sends someone down in the afternoons. But it's still not enough to keep everyone's trash off the beach. So help us try to lug some of your trash home with you. That would be the best.
All right, so while you might be looking for seashells, and if you want to do your own beach sweep, always helpful.
Oh, absolutely.
Always help.
We have the county, Clean County has put out little bags where they usually have people stuff grocery bags in them, and you can grab one of those. They also have if you want to pick up cigarette butts, they have a container where you can put those in as well.
Excellent. In our family, we call that you're picking up treasure and trash, so take it both.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the other thing is you do have some signs posted for the safety of everyone who's enjoying the beach. Remind us of those basic rules that we want to keep in mind so that everybody has a great time.
Well, no alcohol here on the beach at all.
Okay.
No glass containers if at all possible, because if you break a glass container and you think you've picked everything up, and then someone's small child walks by, he's either digging or he steps on it. The next thing you know, we have a bigger problem.
Right.
Also, the biggest problem is the wildlife. Trying to make sure you don't lose your grocery bags and your balloons and all your little things that resemble jellyfish when they're swimming in the water, because turtles like that, and then that becomes a problem for the wildlife, which is, a lot of people will explain to you as a big problem. So if you can keep it out of the water, that's the best thing.
Awesome. All right, so we want to leave it more beautiful than we found it.
Yes, ma'am.
We want to be mindful that no alcohol. We want to be mindful no open fires. A lot of people want to have like a beach bonfire. We don't want to do that. No. And mostly we want to be mindful and courteous of our other beach goers.
Yes. We ask, it is, just so everyone knows, people can fish here.
Right.
And that becomes a problem because it's a swimmer's beach, and and the fishermen like to fish because one of the best spots is right off of here.
Oh, thanks for that tip.
And but be mindful of each other.
Sure.
If you're a fisherman, don't set up where you see a mom and 6 kids.
Right.
But if you're a mom and 6 kids, if you see a fisherman's already set up, then move yourself to another place. That helps everybody.
Everybody can enjoy it. The beach is here for everyone.
Yes, ma'am. We ask the surfers, really the best thing for you to do is move to the ends of both of the properties, because this is a swimmer's beach.
Right.
And we don't want a surfer crashing into a swimmer. That becomes a bigger problem for EMS and everybody else.
Okay, so being mindful, being the best fellow beachgoer we can be, leaving it more beautiful, remembering we can park here for free and we have lots of options up and down the beach.
Yes, ma'am.
And ultimately, this is just the best beach there is.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Tim, thank you for taking good care of it. We also know Park and Rec is not just about beautiful beaches. You all have got events going on all summer long.
We do.
And we want to send people to your website so they can learn what's going on.
Absolutely. All of our events are uploaded on our website. As soon as they plan an event, they usually upload it on the website. And if you have any questions, you can obviously call the park office at 910-347-5332.
Well, Tim, thanks so much for having us for a day at the beach.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is John Heinzmann. John, welcome back to Onslow County Today.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
John, when last we spoke, we were talking about your foster families, and here we are again because we want to honor those families, honor what they do for our community, and of course encourage other families who might be interested. So the first thing we want to talk about is what do foster families do for the children in our community who are in foster care?
Our foster families, and all foster families, right?
Sure.
Resource families, kinship families, they provide support to children, provide a safe home, work and support the child to, possibly overcome traumatic issues they've faced before coming into the care of DSS. They also work closely with the families and help those families get their kids back. The main goal of foster care is reunification.
For sure.
So foster parents play a vital role in supporting the children while their parents are getting the help they need to work on whether it's mental health issues, domestic abuse issues, injurious environment such as housing conditions. So they support the children, also support the parents to reestablish that family unit.
We talk a lot about how you all build families and build families up, and that's an integral part of the piece of the puzzle is the role of those foster families who open their homes perhaps just for a very short time, but it's that reinforcement, that support.
Absolutely.
Now, some people say, I just don't know if it's for me. And we want to talk about how you all really, if someone's got that stirring in their heart that they want to help, you all say, let us help you help children.
Absolutely, and that's a big part of the process. I've worked with a lot of families who've thought about fostering for years, right? And they're kind of like, should I do it, should I not do it? We support you throughout the entire process. And the training process, we do the TIPS map, which is a trauma-informed training. That whole process is a selection process. It's designed to help prospective foster parents make an informed decision.
Sure.
Is this the right thing for them? And by the end of that training, with the other requirements that we complete for licensing, we meet with each person and say, are you ready to make the commitment? And there's levels of commitment, right? I mean, regular foster care is full-time. You have a child in your home for, it could be 3 months, 6 months, a year. But we also license families just to provide respite. Mm-hmm. So it's not that full-time per se commitment, but it may be emergency placement. If we take custody at 8 o'clock at night, we need to place a child. Or if foster families are going away or something goes on, they need a break for 2 or 3 days, the respite families provide that support as well. So
it's really about being that network of support as well. So
absolutely.
It's not what we always think of as that traditional foster family setting. It might be helping another foster family out in a time of need.
Absolutely, yep.
Now, when we talk about need, I mean, you sent me some statistics, John, before our conversation. How many children are currently in foster care here in Onslow County?
Currently, we have 144 children in foster care services.
And how many families to support
We have
them?
53.
So almost, 3 times as many children.
Absolutely. So unfortunately, the children that aren't placed in our homes, and some of the children are for higher level care, which is therapeutic foster care. But for the children that are not placed in their own foster homes, they're placed with private agencies, which means those children are typically placed outside the county.
Right.
It could be an hour and a half away from their home, from their family, from their school, from their entire support system.
Right.
Being placed in foster care, that's traumatic as it is, right?
Sure.
And then being moved to where a brand new environment, a brand new community, that just adds to that trauma for every child.
And also makes it difficult for visitation with parents who might, as you're in therapies together and as you're rebuilding your family unit, that adds to that strain as well, I can assume.
Absolutely. As we get children in care, again, the primary goal is reunification. So part of that process is the shared parenting and having visits with the family, right? And then as we continue to progress, there's more and more visits, overnight visits. So the closer the child can be with their community, with their family, it allows for a smoother transition for the child to return home.
Now, we talk about those transitions, we talk about those trainings. If there's someone out in the community who's watching us now who says, this has been calling me, this is something I've really been thinking about, how do you advise them as to next steps?
The next steps would really be either to go to Onslow County website, which is onslowcountync.gov. We have quite a bit of information about fostering, the basic requirements, the training requirements. There is a availability to fill out an inquiry form that gets emailed directly to me. All right, so that's one way. They can also call me directly. My office number is 910-219-1956, and I'll answer any questions they have. I'll discuss the entire process with them. The level of support we provide to our foster parents starts at that point, really.
At that moment.
And I'm there and as well as not just me, but my staff, our team, right? We support foster parents from the beginning. Even once they're licensed, when they have placements in a home, we continue that process. So even if there are people out there not sure if this is for them, they have questions, give me a call. I will answer the questions. I'll help them. It's our job to help them make that decision. We want to place children in homes that can provide that safe home for children, that understand the foster care process, that are willing to work with biological families. And it is a team approach, because I'm sure it's quite overwhelming to think, I'm going to be a foster parent and I really don't know a whole lot about what's involved and what are the expectations.
Well, and so you're really setting them up for success. setting them
We
up.
certainly try, absolutely.
Now, we also know that the children who are placed in these families, with these families, have, as you said, some have therapeutic needs, some have, other kind of counseling or medical needs. But also we want to think about the diversity of children, especially when it comes to ages. I mean, you all don't just have little bit, you all just don't have, that was exciting, right?
That was.
You all just don't have littles, you have children of all ages.
Right, we have from children from newborn up to 18 years old. And typically it's harder to place children who are older, pre-adolescents, adolescents, into foster homes. Good percentage of foster parents, their preference is to work with, younger children. We accept applications for all ages. We are actively recruiting for families who are willing to consider taking placement of, children 8 years and up.
Okay.
And sometimes, we have people like, oh, this is my preference, and we respect preferences, but we also have conversations like, would you be willing to consider, when we make placement of a child in a foster home, we're very transparent. We provide everything we know about the child, and we don't always know everything, right? I mean, there's always something you may not know, but we want to place a child in a foster home and make the best match possible, right? Because that's going to hopefully end in a positive outcome for the child and for the family.
Right.
Put a child in a home where the family isn't ready to support that child is only going to end in disruption, which is another traumatic event for the child, and it's not good for the foster parents either, because that wasn't a positive experience for them either, right? So we really are very purposeful when we make placements in foster home.
And matching those families to those kiddos.
You're right.
Well, the last thing, John, is you just don't support your families and don't support those children. You celebrate those parents.
We do.
And this is really, today our conversation is about celebrating those families who's opened their homes and their hearts to these kids.
That's correct. So May is Foster Parent Awareness Month, and we not only recognize, but we appreciate, we celebrate our foster parents. What they do is a selfless act. They take these kids in a home, strange kids, they work with them, they love them, they support them. They work with their families. What they do is just incredible. So May recognizes those families. We do activities throughout the month, and typically we close out the month with a big barbecue where we have events for the kids, events for the parents, and a lot of food. Nobody leaves hungry, that's for sure. But it's just a way of saying thank you, and we really appreciate what our foster parents do.
Well, we do thank them, and we thank them for opening their hearts and their homes. And John, we thank you and your team for really giving them the resources that they need, because we know ultimately what you do and what those families do is for those children.
Absolutely.
So we thank you for that. We celebrate you, your team, and your families. And John, if there's any other time that we can assist you all, please, as always, reach out and we're happy to help.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And John, one more time, we want to give them your telephone number, because if there's that inkling that maybe this might be what you want to do.
And if you have any questions, just give me a call.
Okay.
I'll give you whatever the information is. My office number is direct into my office, so you're not going to get bounced around. 910-219-1956.
Well, John, I hate that you have to leave this today, but you're heading back to the office, but thank you for taking your time with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is Kami Fletcher and Jason Jones with Onslow County EMS. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
So May is a very special time, Jason. You have a week set aside to commemorate EMS. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Yes, ma'am. So the week of May 15th is EMS Week. It's held annually, and it is to recognize the efforts of the men and women in EMS. This year's theme is Rising to the Challenge, which is pretty appropriate considering the challenges that EMS and the rest of healthcare and our entire country has faced over these last 2 years with the pandemic.
Well, Jason, for a lot of our viewers, you're sort of a new face to Onslow County today. You've been with us not quite a year?
7 months.
7
This
months.
week.
I was trying to think how long. And so you're absolutely right. I mean, you kind of came on board in the midst of everything that the county was doing to respond to COVID. And certainly you all were that front line oftentimes.
Yes, man, I think that's something that maybe a lot of people don't understand about EMS is you see us coming down the road, lights and sirens. That's just a very small portion of what we do.
Sure.
We basically bring the emergency room to wherever you are, the side of the road in a car accident, in your living room, wherever it is that you have a medical emergency, we bring the ER to you. We're cardiologists, neurologists, right? We have to be specialized in a lot of things because we don't know what that next call is.
And that's also, you say you bring the ER to us in our moment of distress, and then you have to have everything ready so by the time you hit the doors, literally at the emergency room, the docs and the nurses and the staff there are ready to take the reins from you, but you've set that stage.
Yes, ma'am. Our paramedics go through 2 years of education. It's a very rigorous training process. They get the same education as what an RN does today. So it's a very rigorous piece. There's a lot of knowledge and skills that the people that ride these ambulances have, and a lot of skill sets that they bring to the community to make sure that we have the highest level of care possible.
And not only that in terms of the medical care, but you're oftentimes, your teams, your crews are dealing with people who may be in stress of different varieties. It might be psychological stress, it might be anxiety, it might be, unfortunately with substance abuse issues. So not only is it physical care, you all are providing psychological care as well. And now, Cammie, your team, and we're gonna invite you back because you know how much I love community paramedics. Everybody's heard me talk about them, but your team is oftentimes on the front end of that, where
Absolutely.
It might not be that immediate medical care, but somebody needs somebody.
Absolutely.
And that's where your community paramedics come in place.
They do a fantastic job working with the community to make sure to address issues and concerns that might not be something that can be addressed by an emergency medical vehicle, but we can come out there and help them move carpets and things to help them walk better and be more stable in their home, follow up with them after an overdose, work on mental health concerns, get primary care set up. So there's a lot of things that might not be best suited at the hospital, and we can make sure to get that appropriate care.
I don't know, Jason, that people have, until we've had this opportunity to really talk about it, realize the vastness of what you all do. And maybe we've seen it a little bit in our personal lives, and we are grateful for that. But really, this is your opportunity with this commemoration to really recognize and show off a little bit and share with the public. Talk a little bit about what's coming up for this very special week.
We're really excited to be celebrating a Touch a Truck to the start of the week on the 15th, which is a Sunday. And we're also looking to host a CPR class on Tuesday the 17th. And we're going to be pushing all of this information out on the Facebook page for Onslow County Emergency Services and other pages as well to help people know exactly what vendors are coming and be excited to participate.
Now, you're going to get out to the community to share what you all do. But Jason, I want to be a little personal here because here you are, you're the EMS supervisor. What drew you to emergency medicine and to being, part of this incredible team? What was that moment?
So I grew up in Onslow County. This is home. I may have been gone for several years, but I had the opportunity to come back. I grew up in the rescue squad in the volunteer fire departments in Onslow County, and that's where I got my interest in helping other people. And it has been my passion. This is what I enjoy. This is what everybody that works for Onslow County EMS enjoys, and looking to serve and give back to our citizens.
And Cammie, your path here was a little circuitous, but I think you might echo Jason's sentiment about helping people.
Absolutely. I've been in Onslow County since 2008, and I've really loved the opportunity to help our citizens.
Now, we're out here today. It is calm, it is peaceful, it is beautiful. But sometimes, the peak of the summertime is when you all get called the most. Jason, we always like to have our our summer beach segment reflect a little bit of those words of advice that you would tell our citizens and our visitors and our tourists, folks who love our beach, things to be mindful of during the summer.
Well, we definitely will be there for any emergency that you have. We would like to prepare you to not have to need our services.
Right. Put yourselves a little bit out of a job for the day, right?
There are a couple things that you can do, particularly in summertime, that will keep you from having to need the services of EMS. The biggest piece is making sure that you're consuming plenty of water. As the temperature gets in the 90s and the 100s some days, our bodies sweat a lot more. We lose a lot more water than what you may actually realize. Dehydration can quickly become a heat exhaustion and a heat stroke.
Right.
If you feel thirsty, make sure that you're drinking something. If you've been out on the boat or on the beach all day, you've been consuming some adult beverages, make sure that you're compensating by consuming plenty of water as well. The other piece that we also worry about is water safety this time of year.
Sure.
Particularly parents that have young ones. Make sure that you're keeping an eye on your young child, that they're not in the back pool by themselves, they don't wander to the ocean edge by themselves. And even for those that are not great swimmers, if you're out on the boat, make sure that you have a life jacket. It only takes a few seconds for you to become distressed and become a victim of drowning. So make sure that you position yourself, other people are around, you're not swimming alone, and that you have the appropriate protective equipment when you are out on the water enjoying these beautiful days.
So it's beautiful, but we want to always be mindful and respectful. And I know that you all just had a huge exercise a few weeks ago where this was a lot of the conversation was about water rescue and safety and mindfulness. So that's the other piece of the puzzle, Cammie, is you all never stop training. It's not like you know what you know, right?
Absolutely.
So talk about the commitment that you've seen in the time that you've been with EMS and with our Emergency Operations Center about how well trained this crew is.
It's amazing how much focus is put on ensuring that we are prepared for all events and that we're prepared from a very holistic and well-rounded approach, that we're working on how do we approach patients, how to provide good care, as well as the quality of the care and the specifics to providing the best care. We just had another recent training where we're focusing on exactly what to do at a scene, how to work in teams with other groups. So it's really a privilege.
Well, it's a privilege for us to have you all here and to celebrate what you do. Jason, again, let's remind folks what's coming up beginning May 15th.
Yes, ma'am. So EMS Week is May 15th. It's the opportunity to celebrate the sacrifices of the men and women in EMS. We will be hosting a Touch a Truck event with various other public safety partners in Onslow County. We will share the exact location. That will be on Sunday, May 15th.
Okay.
And then we will host a community CPR class at our Emergency Operations Center Tuesday evening that week, beginning at 6:30.
All right. Well, Cammie Fletcher and Jason Jones, it has been a pleasure having you all here. Thank you. Thank you, thank you for all that you do to keep us safe and well here in Onslow County and for being there when we need you the most.
Thank you for having us, and we're definitely happy to be here as well.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and now we have Laurie Hubick joining us with Onslow County Animal Services. Laurie, welcome back. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you for having us.
We've been talking a lot about springtime and summertime and what that brings in this segment of Onslow County Today. And certainly for your clients and our pet population of Onslow County, summertime brings with it its own set of challenges. And so you wanted to really talk today about spaying and neutering of our pets and why that's what it means to be a responsible pet owner. So talk a little bit about that for us, Laurie.
That's correct. There's multiple benefits to spaying and neutering your pets, and a lot of people don't realize it, but there's actually a benefit to the pet owner themselves. We find that unfixed animals can often have behavior issues. Males can become dominant, females can become territorial. Male dogs might be more likely to run because they're going to be seeking out a female in heat.
Right.
So there are reasons why, for the pet owner, that it can make your animal a more pleasant pet to have in your home if it is spayed or neutered.
Right, so I think most of us immediately think about population control, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
But there are other medical benefits, or at least behavioral benefits Do we find that both in dogs and cats?
Yes, because with cats, the male cats may spray in the home. The females will try to get out of the house because the Mother Nature is calling them to get outside and find a mate, and they start to become an issue that way. You may have animals fighting amongst themselves. If there's multiple animals in the home that are not spayed or neutered, they might become territorial and start to be quarreling with each other. And so those are the types of things and some of the things that we get calls at the shelter with people wanting to give up their pets. But these behaviors can be reduced or completely corrected by just going through a spay and neuter process.
Now, you know, oftentimes we have folks who are curious about then what's the best route to take? Do my personal vet? I mean, what do we do?
We can help them with that. We can talk through options with them if they call the Onslow County Animal Services shelter staff. We'd be happy to help with discussing their timeline, their financial needs, and help them to figure out what would be some good choices for them.
Now, the other thing is certainly population control.
That's correct.
And we're sort of, you know, we're in the midst of kitten season.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. We're finding, we'll get dozens of calls a week, people wanting to give up unexpected litters of puppies and kittens that we'd like to see prevented now if we can. Female cat can have 3 litters a year, and a lot of people don't realize they can have their first litter as young as 6 months old or even become impregnated by siblings. So if you have several kittens from a litter that you've kept yourself, they can become pregnant with each other. And a lot of people get caught by surprise, not realizing those things.
Right. So we want to, you know, be mindful and the value in spaying and neutering. And also when our cats and kittens and our puppies or our dogs wander away from home, there are all kinds of other threats to them as well.
Certainly. There's some studies that show that an unfixed male dog is twice as likely to get hit by a car because of their desire to wander looking for a female. That's a pretty high statistic for a dog. And if you care about your pets, you wouldn't want to put them in danger like that. You want to try to keep them at home as much as possible, and that's something that can be easily corrected or changed by neutering your pets.
Well, the summertime also brings other challenges. Certainly, we see an increase, you know, as pets may wander off in certain diseases, and so the value in keeping them healthy in other ways.
They want to be vaccinated. The distemper shot is very important to people to get their animals done, both their cats and their dogs, a distemper shot. That's going to protect them when their puppy is down at the beach and out in public places. It'll protect them from various viruses that dogs can pick up. And for the cats, a lot of people do still let their cats go out into their yard or back inside. It will protect them from viruses that the cats will spread amongst each other. It could just simply be a stray cat that walks into their yard that could then transfer a virus to their cat and give them an unexpected sick animal that way.
And then absolutely the other thing, and that's part of being a good neighbor, is oftentimes, you know, if our pet wanders, it wanders into our neighbor's yard, and they are not always welcome.
That is correct. Not everyone feels the same way about having a cat and dog at their home, and so you want to be sure that your pets are contained in a safe manner. Of course, it's ideal if you have a fenced yard for a dog. That's the best possible scenario for a pet owner and the dog. But if that is not provided, then to keep them on leash, keep them in your own area so that you're not imposing on other people or stressing their family members or their pets out sometimes by having them go out into their yard.
So spaying and neutering has multiple benefits. So health benefits, population control, and just being a good neighbor. Now, Lori, you said that you all could assist us in finding out information and guiding us what to do. You all also are just a wealth of knowledge and resources just about being a responsible pet owner.
And we want to help. We want to have it so that the animal stays in the home that it already has and that it has a good life with its pet owner.
Well, for folks who want to know more about everything that you do at Animal Services, or perhaps want to go find that forever family member, tell us how we can find you, what your telephone number is, your website, and really your location.
Yes, we're at 244 Georgetown Road in Jacksonville. You can Google and find Onslow County Animal Services. We're the first thing that'll pop up. Our phone number is 910-455-0182 for all kinds of different assistance. And we also have a very active Facebook page for those Facebookers that gives a lot of information and ways for people to ask questions as well.
Well, Lori, it has been a real pleasure talking with you. I hope that we'll get over to your site soon for a visit and be able to bring Onslow County Today from Animal Services. As we kind of close out our segment, just remind our viewers what it means to have that forever family member.
Oh, it's a joy. Pure love and joy, if you ask me.
Well, thank you for all you do for our families here in Onslow County and for our furry family members. And we are so glad you were here today.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today. And joining us now is a new face to Onslow County, Carter Metcalf.
Yes, ma'am.
And Carter, you are a planner with Onslow County Planning and Development.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, how long have you been with us?
So I've been with the county for 1 year and 4 months, coming up on 5 months now.
And it's my understanding that you have recently also just completed your master's degree.
Yes, ma'am.
And where did you receive that degree?
I received my degree from UNCW.
Excellent. So, fellow Seahawk.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
congratulations to you.
Thank you.
So Carter, you bring this experience to us. You've been with us a little over a year now. And we're going to talk a little bit about one of your new responsibilities, which is assisting the Planning and Development Department with the forthcoming Comprehensive Land Use Plan. Now that's a lot of words, and so we want to break it down for everyone. When we talk about land use planning, what is it we're really talking about?
So with land use planning, every piece of property has two categories. So the first is zoning, which
Right.
is what you can do today. If you came into our office and said, what can I build? We're going to tell you your zoning and here's what you'd be able to do. And the second is your future land use category. And that says if in our comprehensive plan, which is the blueprint for the county moving forward, what would the county's vision want to be?
Okay.
And so that's not limiting you, but if you came in and said, I want to change my zone, we will look at that future category to see if that kind of lines up or not.
Okay. And when we look, like today we're at the beach, but if you look at Onslow County,
Yes, ma'am.
it is a very diverse in terms of geographic landscape, from farmland to beach to really very urban, city-centric activities. How do you all sort of create a vision for a place that's so different?
Yes, ma'am. We are really just a unique county. I mean, what other county has all of those different areas? Has the beaches, has agriculture and forestry, which is a strong part of our county, and then as well as our municipalities. So first step is we take input because we're not trying to say that we have the best idea, rather we want to hear from the community.
Sure.
We want to hear from average citizens, and through the process of the comprehensive plan, we'll hold workshops with folks and want to hear what they think. We take input from our elected officials, and then we look at the county. We gather tons of data on how we've been growing, what has been happening since our last comprehensive plan.
Okay.
And the last census, Onslow County placed 13th out of the 100 counties
Right.
in terms of population and also growth. So we'll look at all that data, and then we'll look at best practices of planning across North Carolina and propose a plan, and then we'll see if our county commissioners will adopt it or not, and we'll kind of work on it. And it'll be kind of the community's plan through input and through looking at what is the county been growing and how we should move forward.
Well, I think that anyone who has lived here for any amount of time can see, I mean, that growth. They can drive to the beach and see new houses. We know that, and not to be too punny, but there are new crops of houses popping up all over our rural areas. As a matter of fact, it's my understanding that with the 2020 census, we really have lost our rural status altogether, and Onslow County is considered suburban urban at this point, right?
Yes, ma'am. Our agriculture has decreased. However, we know that is an important part of our heritage as a county.
Sure.
And so part of the process will be, what does it look like for Onslow County moving forward to preserve some of that, as well as forestry. I mean, we have the Hoffman Forest, which is unique to us. and so we want to preserve that as well.
Well, you know, I love that you're saying these things about preservation, preserving things that are historic, that are culturally significant to us, as well as, you know, being very much a geographic significance. There, as you say, there is nothing like, if you've not ever been in the Hoffman Forest, to see trees that are thousands of years old and enormous. It's quite the sight. And also here in our community, we have another distinct feature, and that's the fact that the federal government is part of our neighborhood.
Yes, ma'am.
And how do we engage the military in this conversation?
Yes, ma'am. So they'll obviously be a key stakeholder as we begin moving forward with the plan. We will have a steering committee to help guide that process, and it will have a wide range of voices on it. And certainly our folks at Camp Lejeune and New River are going to be a part of that conversation. And recently, a few years ago, we did a joint land use study with them. And so we'll be building off of that plan as well to make sure that we're accommodating their needs and keeping them an integral part of the conversation.
Well, you know, as we look around, I mean, the base is here, Jacksonville's there, growth everywhere. But also maintaining the beauty that is Onslow County. Carter, how do we begin the process with the public? When will can you give us sort of a timeline about when the public can begin to offer their input and what that might look like?
Yes, ma'am. So we're first beginning to prepare to get a consultant first.
Sure.
We're going to have some experts come in and assist us with it. And then as we begin moving forward, we'll have it up on our website, as well as they can always call into our department to find out when we're going to be holding workshops throughout the county. And we'll be sending out information on that because we want folks to come out and to be able to engage with us on it, where we'll have conversations about their local area, what has been happening, what do they want to see moving forward, because it's that balance of preserving and protecting what we have now, but accommodating for our future dreams and future growth. As we know, people are moving here and we're just growing, but protecting, again, what makes Onslow Onslow.
Well, you know, doing things in that planned and thoughtful manner makes it an even better place to live.
Absolutely.
Now, Carter, again, we want to remind folks how to reach planning and development, how to learn more. So if you can give us sort of your best telephone number there at the office. And of course, we're going to direct people to your website because that's where you're going to keep that information current.
Absolutely. So obviously our planning and development website, you can also email us at landuse, LANDUSE, at onslowcountync.gov, or call us at 910-455-3661, and you want to select option 3.
Okay, because that phone tree, want to make sure you get right to where you need to be.
Get right to us.
All right, well, Carter, it has been a joy talking with you this morning. I look forward to the future that you help us plan here in Onslow County.
Thank you, ma'am. We look forward to hearing from our citizens and hearing from folks and charting a new path for Onslow County.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is one of our frequent friends and visitors, Tondrea Leach from Piers. Tondrea, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I know it was a little bit of a hardship.
I mean, working in the office today is extremely hard.
Okay, well, we'll try not to put too much stress on you, but we do want to talk about what you all are commemorating this month, because this is one of the foundations that Piers was really founded on 45 years ago, and that is the prevention of teen pregnancy. Talk about what it is that you all do in terms of education and what you're doing this month.
Well, May is National Teen Pregnancy Prevention Month, which is so vital to all communities to help prevention, but also to be there for our young teens, moms and dads, if they do, oops, I've gotten pregnant. So we do have an adolescent parenting program at Piers, where we have a social worker and a social worker assistant who is working with our teen moms and dads up until the day before their 20th birthday. And we utilize the Parents as Teachers curriculum. It's an evidence-based international program that we use to help our teens learn life skills, parenting skills, and hopefully prevent a second adolescent pregnancy.
Right.
Which is so important to let our teens graduate high school, go off to either work or go to college. They do still have dreams even if they do have a baby. But if we can prevent it from happening, it's wonderful, because Onslow County has been in the top 10 for so many years of adolescent pregnancies.
You know, it's so much about education and conversation.
Yes.
And really sharing with our teens about life choices.
Yes.
And the promise of what tomorrow could bring for them.
Yes. And we do offer a curriculum called Love Notes, and some people are like, what is that? But it's about teaching teens about communication, the importance of knowing your body is your body. You have rights to say no. Even if it's a longtime boyfriend or girlfriend, no one should trap you into anything or make you do something you don't want to do.
Right.
I mean, so you do have choices. Parents do have to sign a consent form for children to take this, anywhere from 12 to 18 years old if they want to take this curriculum. We have MSW students who normally facilitate that, or our adolescent parenting program, social worker and assistant can also facilitate that class.
Well, you know, when we talk about these type of curricula for young people, it's what we have to remember. And you said it. You know, these are adolescents. Their brains are still norming and forming.
Oh yes.
And so they think differently.
They do.
They have lots of different messages coming at them.
Yes.
And so you all have coalesced to be that voice for them.
Yes. And we want to be there with the parents, not against the parents. We want to help parents have those hard conversations with their teens. I mean, I myself was a teen pregnant girl, and I didn't have a program like Peers. I didn't have the adolescent parenting program, and I just thought, oh, my life is over. But you know, I had the support of my family. I had the support of family friends that was there for me, that made a difference. And Peers can be that support to teens. If they're going through, you know, I've had relations, I don't ever want to do it again, well, let's talk about it. Let's get you hooked up with the health department. They have a great program at the health department. We can connect you with all kinds of resources, but also help you sit down with your mom and dad and have those difficult conversations if that's what it needs to be.
Well, you know, it's difficult enough as an adult with a steady income and a supportive partner to raise a child, and to be in the midst of still growing up yourself.
Yes.
That's an immeasurable challenge, and that's where Peers also steps in, is to tell us what it is and help us grow as a parent.
Yes. Our teen moms and dads, and I do say both because we do have both in our program, they do learn about how do we prevent CPS first off from coming in our home, but sometimes you get a call anyway. But if you're doing the things that you need to be doing as a parent, it's okay if CPS knocks on your door. Welcome them on in. You know, I don't have a care. Come on in. Let me show you what I've learned.
Right.
You know, how do I diaper a baby? How do I take care of my baby? Plus high school classes. Do I still get to go to the mall or go out with my friends? Or do I have to always stay at home? And these are all these conversations as a teen parent you're having with your parents, because they're still parenting you as a teen.
Right.
And it's so difficult for that mindset to say, I'm a mother, but I'm a teenager, so I can only make certain decisions when it comes to my child.
Right. The dynamic that you have to create.
Yes.
Because ultimately, you want to make sure that that little baby has the best possible opportunity that it has.
Yes.
So we're supporting the teen parent, or better yet, we're preventing that so that that child has their best future in place.
Right.
But then in the event that something does occur, you have to provide that support.
Oh, yes. And we love our teens.
And you love your teens.
Yeah, they're single, they're married, they're military, they're civilian. It doesn't matter. We are going to serve our teens.
Well, you all have served them beautifully for 45 years. You just had a successful event not long ago.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what you just had.
So we had our 18th annual Cherish the Child dinner and salad auction at Discovery Church, and it was absolutely phenomenal to be able to meet in person again after 2 years.
Yes, yes.
And Cherish the Child is an event that was established by a previous director, Heidi Bauer, that supports our child care program. And without our child care program, there are no other free child care programs in Onslow County that lets you utilize their service Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, because that's what we do, is for parents just to get away from their kids. You know, and it's such a valuable time for a parent to be not a parent. It's a valuable time for them just to be them.
Well, everybody needs a timeout.
They do. They
Everybody
do.
needs, and when we have that moment, we can come back and be better parents.
Yes. Yes.
Now, I know that with the success of Cherish the Child, there were lots of folks who supported you. I know you can't name everybody, but I'm sure that you want to use this as a time to just say thank you as well.
Well, I do want to thank, Discovery Church International, who allows us to host at their venue or their church, as well as Freeway was there playing for us again, and they're such a wonderful support to peers always. Mission Barbecue, who provides the food. And all of my staff, my interns, and my volunteers that come to Piers, either daily, weekly, or monthly, or even just once or twice a year that volunteers. Without them, Piers could not exist, and I owe such a great a debt of gratitude to all of them. They're wonderful to work with, and they're wonderful support to Piers.
Well, I don't think that there's a better way to end our segment, Tandria. You all are incredibly successful, have been so now for more than 4 decades, and it's that kind of community support that makes it possible. We do want folks to know how to reach you, so tell us where your address is and your best telephone number.
Okay, our address is 151 Cheney Avenue in Jacksonville. Our number is 910-333-9725. And we just launched our brand new website, PiersFamilyDevelopmentCenter.com. And it actually has our paperwork for our adolescent parenting program and our child care and our parenting education. It also has some great information about car seat safety. Any kind of resources you need as a parent, we will find you those resources, and we will get it either online, our Facebook, our social media, all of our social media. People can come by, drop by, and walk through the Piers house. Please do.
All right, so come and visit, give us a call, or at the touch of a button, that
That's
information
right.
is there.
Yes.
Well, Tandria Leach, it is always wonderful to have you, and thank you for what you do for our children and families here in Onslow County.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is a new face to Onslow County Today and Onslow County. We have Mary Downing joining us from the Onslow County Museum. Mary, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
I know that you have just run on to set because you've been doing your job all morning. Tell us what you've been up to today.
Well, today I was at the New River Child Development Center, and we worked with the 2-year-old rooms, and we did squishy fishy, so they did fish stamping, and then the pre-K rooms did fossil hunting. So we talked all about the seabed of Onslow County and what they can find for some fossils.
Well, Mary, you've been with the county how long?
Since January.
Since January. Here we are, not quite a half a year
Yeah.
into it, and you have really hit the ground running doing all these kind of programs for the museum.
It's been very exciting.
And now you're here today to tell us some very exciting news about one of the museum's most popular programs. What's coming back?
Summer art. Summer art is finally coming back after 2 years. It's coming.
That is awesome. Please tell our viewers, what is summer art?
Summer art is a week-long camp that's offered 3 times during the summer. It has a theme. This year's theme is First Peoples of Carolina. So we're going to be learning about the indigenous people of Carolina and doing some cultural projects with it, going on field trips, listening to guest speakers. It's going to be a very exciting event.
Now, for those who are familiar with summer art, it is a long-standing program at the museum since the late 80s. Mm-hmm. What makes this program, do you think, so special? I know you're kind of new to the museum, but what are some of the things you've heard?
I think it's so special because it's different. Nobody else really does it around here. Like, you have summer camps, but this is a camp that's devoted to learning and to being hands-on and to having art and history at your hands. I think it's just something different and exciting.
Well, it is exciting to have it back, and what a great theme. What are the ages of the children that can participate?
8 to 14.
Okay, and so 8 to 14-year-olds, they're a little bit different in what they can grasp. So how have you made accommodations to serve all those ages?
So we have 2 camps. Our first 2 camps are 8 to 11, and that's a young 11. And then our last camp is 11 to 14 with an older 11. So those 11-year-olds that are on the middle school side of things.
Right. And to register for the program?
You go to the Onslow County Museum website, you can find the registration form, you fill it out, and you bring in that with the payment to the Onslow County Museum.
All right, so welcome back, Summer Art.
Yeah.
And also welcome back to another camp. You've got something going on in August.
Yes, Wetland Wonders at the Environmental Education Center.
Now, that's a relatively sort of new site, the EEC. Talk a little bit about what Wetland Wonders is all about and where that site is located.
The EEC is located in Sneads Ferry, and
Okay.
Wetland Wonders is a camp kind of based on the natural history of Onslow County, and this year our theme is going to be weather. So weathering through all of Onslow County and our Wetland Wonders.
So weather phenomena, things, okay. And so if you're learning about the weather, Onslow County is going to be about as weird as it gets because we have every weather phenomenon.
And
So weather,
weather.
First Carolinians, outreach programming. Mary, I'd say in 5 months, you've jumped in with both feet.
Yeah.
What would you let folks know about visiting the museum? Of course, we've been closed like a lot of folks due to the pandemic, and you've been with us a short time, but what would you let visitors know about coming back?
Well, we're open, we're there, it's awesome. You get to learn all about your county. It tells the story of Onslow County, and it's a lot of fun. There's a fossil site, there's an outdoor exhibit, all the things for ages all.
All the things for everybody. You're
Yes.
exactly right. Well, Mary, I know that you have been running fast and furious today, and we're going to let you run back to Richlands because Summer Art doesn't wait.
No, it doesn't.
But again, welcoming folks to check out our Facebook, visit us at the website, and please give the main telephone number at the museum for folks who have questions.
910-324-5008.
Well, Mary Downing, welcome to Onslow County today.
Thank you.
Thanks for bringing Summer Art back
Yeah.
and all that you're doing for the kids of Onslow County.
It's going to be good.
Thank you as always for joining us for Onslow County today. A really special thank you to Onslow County Park and Recreation for providing us this perfect set today as we've come out to celebrate summertime here in Onslow County. We have beautiful beaches. We have awesome agricultural lands. Onslow County is a great place to be, and we invite you to get out and explore your Onslow County today. We'll see you next time.